Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and it's been a while. I wanted to take my time. The Xbox One has been out over a year, and people. I was gonna do a 1 year later video, but a lot of people did that, and I thought, well, instead of talking about where we came from, which we all kind of know, why not talk about where we're at now and where we're going for the year 2015? So I think the best way is just to call this the Xbox One 2015 review, where we're at and where we're gonna go. So I booted straight up from cold start, no standby. I actually turned that standby mode off. I got an Amazon Fire TV, and they really don't shut off. So I figured, what's the sense of having both on all the time? And again, some of these things you have to have an Xbox One to know what I mean. Sometimes if you just have your Xbox, the bat, or I can't remember what it's called, but the setting where it doesn't totally shut off, it goes into sleep mode. Sometimes when you boot back up, you have problems and little bugs, and when you do a full, either hold the power button 10 seconds or tell it to unplug it or whatever, it actually seems to run a little better sometimes if there's a bug or something. So I just do it this way now. It takes a little longer to start up, but oh well. Let me think of some of the first things I want to talk about here. As far as TV features go, let me let this boot up. It takes forever. I mean, I don't have cable. It's kind of too expensive for the lack of things you get. I can pretty much watch anything I want on the internet on YouTube, and I have a WWE Network subscription. So I don't. If I did have cable, I don't think I would even have the higher cable with the DVR to plug into here. And if I did, I don't see why I would do that. To be honest, I wouldn't want to have an extra device running. Seems kind of dumb, but I guess there are some people that use it. See, they're kind of forcing it here, but at least they're showing online content as opposed to what's on your DVR or whatever. Uh, Kinect, that's another one. I just kind of want to deal with it right now and never have to talk about it again. I got the Kinectless Xbox One, as you know if you follow my channel. I really like that one. That's the one we all wanted. I think the Kinect's basically dead and done for. I don't get what the point of it was. Sure, it had promise, but no one does anything with it. To just stand there and wave my hand back and forth is really stupid. It's so much easier just to have a true one-to-one experience with a controller. Why not make some kind of weird touchscreen controller or add-on controller or smart glass better version of the app if you're gonna do stuff like that? I don't have a Kinect. I never want to Kinect. I guess if you wanted to just film videos, you could use it, but it's kind of dumb just for that. Um, has there ever been a good Kinect game? I don't think so. You had Kinect Adventures and Kinect Animals. Those are pretty much the only games I know of that fully utilize Kinect, and which I'm sure they were revolutionary, weren't they? Madden, you shout an audible into it. That was all gimmicks from the beginning. Like the PlayStation Move. I bought the PlayStation Move. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. It was a better concept because it was basically off the Wii U, like a better Wii U, but they didn't have too much software support. I even got sick of that after like the first 2 weeks. I never touched it again and I sold it. So Kinect, let's never talk about it again, and let's hope that Microsoft stops using it and they let developers access the console to play games and not reserve anything for Kinect. The next big thing is storage. Uh, if you're like me and you have a ton of games, I have a good bit, counting the downloadable ones. I needed a external hard drive, or I would have been out of space a while ago now. So I did a video on external storage, and it's on my channel if you want to see an unboxing or a brief little tutorial on how to set it up. Basically, I prefer a 2 terabyte. That's a good size. One's a little too small. You might end up having to get another one, which down the line, which would be pointless to have to pay again. So I got a 2 terabyte. 3 and 4, they're bigger. A lot of them are powered. I don't want to have another power cable. So external storage, 2 terabyte. Hopefully that'll last me the entire lifespan of the console. You can see here the dashboard's a little different. Hopefully you can see that on the screen there. The tiles are transparent now. I have the preview member, so I have the February update. I'm not sure if that's public yet. I think they still usually don't release their updates until the actual month, so if it isn't out now, I'm sure you'll be getting it soon. I like the idea because I said that actually in my video when it added the backgrounds. So now we know. Well, there we go. So now we know that we have that and we can see better back there. There was a setting in the survey I did that said, would you like a setting to where you can either turn the transparency full off or whatever, and a slider, and I would like that because I had to switch to the gray because the gray looks the best transparent. Like a light green looks stupid over that wallpaper I'm using. So now I had to change my theme to gray, and it looks really bland in menus like this. So I'm hoping that they get that setting added in soon, and I can just go transparent and keep the green. I changed my background to a Mass Effect. I'm a big Mass Effect fan, and I figured I have nice car wallpapers and nature stuff, but this is a game console. I'll save that stuff for my tablets or desktop. Let's put in a game wallpaper. Tried some Halo ones, but I like this Mass Effect one the most. I love Mass Effect. The first one was one of my favorites. I almost don't want to go back and play 2 because I don't want to beat it already. Because the first one was so good, the second one didn't live up to it. But I would be happy all these remakes. I'd be happy if they imported the Mass Effect collection 1 to 3 on the Xbox One. I know they already made a collection, but I'd like to see another one on this generation. But let's see how else. It's still very laggy in my opinion. I just don't think it's that fast. See, that's a little bit faster there because I already had it opened. But it's not like butter smooth when you go to open up things. I don't like that transition second there. Sometimes it's not that bad, sometimes it's worse. It depends. Things still don't feel totally developed. In case you're wondering, this video doesn't have much to do on the hardware. I did a review last year on what it looks like. There's nothing has changed unless you got a special edition. So I'm just talking software. I'm talking about what's on your screen. So, the home screen, or the home screen of the store, is kind of bland. They did improve it. It's not the same as it was when it launched, but it still needs a lot of improvement. But I don't know. I think it could run smoother. Let's open up achievements here. Let's see. I would like it to just go straight into the loading. I don't have the fastest internet, so I know like digital things aren't going to load, but I would like to see the actual app start running a little quicker than that. Multitasking is pretty good. Multitasking's never really been disappointing. Let me talk about a problem I quite frequently have, and that's snapping. So let's open up this. Yes, I have Call of Duty Ghosts, and I've been playing it a little bit again. I kind of like it as an alternative to Advanced Warfare, which can get really old with all the jumping and boosting and getting killed out of your spawn and stuff. So sometimes I go back to Ghosts and almost have more fun with it. Now remember, my console was totally shut off, so when you open up core services like this, it's for the first time. So let me go ahead and snap an app, and sometimes this will take a long time. Usually when I film it on camera, it's not, well, you can see. Say you got a really good kill. Okay, you're sitting here waiting. You have to either stop playing or you have to hurry up and press the snap again and snap back over. Look at that. That's unacceptable. Let's be honest. I don't like to complain too much, but this is unacceptable. Why put a feature in like this if it's going to be like this? And wait, I haven't even loaded the game DVR yet. I mean, no cuts here. This is real time. Turn that volume up a little bit there. And remember, like I said, if you had your console running and then you switched and you didn't like shut it off the whole way, this would load a lot quicker. But if you do a full restart, then it'll take this long every single time. So now let me open up the game DVR. And if you've used an Xbox, if you have one, you've probably noticed this, but I have to put it out there. This isn't something that I would expect. It's just too slow. So what, probably nearing on a minute now? I've had this happen before. It basically makes me say, hey, I don't want to use the snap feature now. Sometimes I'll purposely snap it before I play the game so it's already loaded and cached in the background and ready to go, but I think that's unacceptable. So let's get rid of that. And another thing I don't like about Snap is, say we quit. Now some apps like messaging, which I guess I'll have to open down here, they force a snap. I don't like that. It'll basically reopen your game if you have it closed. So let me find messages. In this case, I guess it was going to keep. Okay. So that in that case, because I had something open, it just opened that. And this time it went back to that same app. But sometimes if you have your game closed and you don't have anything else open, it'll reopen that. That's another issue. I would rather just have the option of having a full screen messaging app or a Snap app. And again, if the Snap's taking forever, then it's going to open the other one and it's just messy. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I wanted to show you a lag demo because I was talking about lag. How's this for lag? Let me show you this. Again, I'm not a console fanboy for either side, but when I see something like this, I'm going to pick on it. You see the bumpers here? You see my fingers? Watch this. See my finger? I wasn't touched. You see how the delay on that? Now I understand to a certain point the transitions are purposely kind of slowed down so you get that slide, but still it shouldn't delay that much. That just shows me that the interface is still kind of laggy. Even if they designed the transition to be slower, I don't know why it's doing it. Still repeating them after I'm done pressing the buttons. You would think it would either just cut off or it would do them quicker or something. I've never had that happen before for a home screen. I haven't tried it on the 360, but I don't think it's ever been that delayed. Personally, I think they should have just kept the 360 interface. You know what it looks like. It changed 3 times. There was the blades, and there was like a more, I think it was more of the Metro look, and then the last one was basically the Windows 8 style looking, and this is even a more high-tech Windows 8. They should have just totally kept the 360 look, made it the exact same one here, added this home screen, which I'm a big fan of, like this right here, that multitasking little panel right here, and just overtop that, had the store integrated into everything, which I really liked. You slide up, you're in the marketplace. You scroll down, you're in the marketplace. Now you gotta open up the store every single time to get to where you want. It feels like we took a step back there. They should have brought us over the 360 dashboard interface, built off of it, then maybe upgrade when everything was ready. Because here we are a year later, and we're just finally to where I would say that the Xbox One is on par with how it should have launched over a year ago. Next thing, avatars. I've read several places and Microsoft confirmed that the avatars are coming back. I've been wanting that. That's a cool idea. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but this interface is so bland. We could use an avatar on the screen there dancing around, or have it integrated into the screens, or doing something in the background, or just maybe a specific just space in the friends area. Because like this leaderboards with the gamer score over there, that's okay, but that's going to get boring after another year. So if we can put avatars, and remember the customize, you can customize their outfit and their background and what they're doing. That's cool. I'd rather see that there, and let's access that leaderboard inside the Friends app. We don't really need that on the home screen as far as I'm concerned. Plus, on top of that, that thing's buggy and doesn't make sense. It says I'm 20th with 0 gamer score when I just bought Forza Horizon 2 and unlocked, about 70 some gamer score, and I've had a few hundred the last month. So you see that says leaderboard 30 days. Let's go down here. Again, I got pros and cons here, so I'm talking about some cons right now. It's still a good, that's why I have my Xbox. I still like it. I haven't sold it. I'm not going to, but these are just things I'm pointing out so that hopefully they'll get fixed. Now see here, it says I'm 19th, and other times I've had it say totally different scores for everyone. See, number 1, there's 10,075. See, now this time they're even. Sometimes they'll be totally different on here, and I'll be like number 3 or something with like 300 gamer score, and then here I'm like down here. Again, I'm part of the preview program. A lot of times the friends column here says it's not working and stuff. Maybe it's because I'm in the preview program that they're working on things, but you would think they're really not updating the friends list. Why would that be changing with their whole update? I don't know. Maybe it's just buggy. I still wouldn't like to see that. This is kind of going long, but hey, I want to talk about everything, and this is a whole year review here, so where we're at. As I said, the store needs better integrated. The avatars, as I just mentioned, I want to see purchasable content. I want to see, as I've said before, download themes, free and paid. Why would Microsoft, they love their money. Why wouldn't they have customized themes? Because again, you still can't see the entire background. Why not sell a theme that has all like your stuff in the top and bottom sections there, where there's just a theme of maybe like a title and like a little smaller thing at the bottom that shows all the pictures or something, and maybe some live action in the background or something. Why they wouldn't have paid themes? Same with gamer. What do they call gamer picks? There's not too many. I think a few have been added in, but they're all cartoony looking and stupid in my opinion. Why? You could put one for every game. You know, Call of Duty likes to sell you like a gun or a skin for your gun. I'm sure Call of Duty would make gamer picks, and you could buy them for 50 cents or something. Why they're not doing that when they could make money on that in typical Microsoft fashion? And I would spend a few dollars on that stuff. Where that's at, I don't know. Screenshots, Microsoft and videos themselves have confirmed that, and that's like the next thing coming. So basically, you hold down the power button here, and this goes, you give feedback if you're a preview member. It basically takes a screenshot of what you just did, and we'll give it a minute here to load. Again, this shows the lag. Well, I'm just going to start talking about it because it's taking a while. That's basically the screenshot right now, but it's not a true screenshot. You can't share it. You can only send it to Microsoft if you're having an issue. But to hold down the power button, we'll just forget about that right now. I hope that's not how the true screenshot's going to work, because there's going to be times in game where you can't do this because it'll pause your game, and then you'll get like a menu will pop up, and then it'll take the screenshot. I'm hoping that there's just some other way, like maybe say hold start and select, or start and back, or menu and recent apps, or whatever they call it now. Hold those two middle buttons at the same time for a second, then it'll take it. I'm hoping we can have something like that, as opposed to having to hold this down, then go to screenshot, which will take a little bit more time, won't get it as accurate. I would just like to see it that way. See that you can see the screenshot there. So it's basically a feature already in there from this, which has been around for a while. But again, hopefully they can integrate it better. Faster install times on the downloads. I just again installed Forza Horizon 2. It took a while till it was 3 gigabytes download on my internet. That's about an hour download. But the percentage used to be like it would install the game first, and then would get to like say 95%, and then the last 5% was the actual download file, the update file, and that would be last. You would know, well, okay, I got about an hour here, so because this is a moderately big game, so the 5% is a good chunk of that. So now it's like it went to like 8%, and it did counted the download as the beginning part of the install. And I thought, well, I'd have to wait, a long time here because the game hasn't installed yet. Once the download's done, the whole game was installed after 8%. So that seems like that's a little buggy again. They said they wanted to make install times faster. So again, I'd rather just install the game first, let you know that, like it used to when I first got the Xbox. Then when you're at 95 and it's stuck there, okay, now it's downloading. The controller is really good. That's a big positive. Nothing wrong with this controller. Probably my favorite. I really like the GameCube controller, but as a current controller, this is the best out there. Better than the PS4. Much better than the PS3. It's not clunky or creaky or really fits in the hand. Well, I like the bumpers. I don't have a problem with the triggers. They're not too big for me or anything. Battery life's phenomenal. I'm on Play and Charge kit. I'm getting over 24 hours, sometimes maybe even 30 or 40. I don't really keep track. I barely ever charge it. One charge, couple hours, lasts plenty long. The Play and Charge kit's worth it. Yeah, it would have been nice if they included the Play and Charge kit, but I like the option that you can take it out and put AA batteries in, because say your Play and Charge kit goes bad after a few years, like my 360 one did when it just doesn't hold a charge anymore. Well, you have to buy a new controller if you had a PS4. On an Xbox, you just pop the charge kit out, put another one in, or just use AA's. And AA batteries have a fantastic battery life in this controller as well. So should they have included it with a bundle? Yeah. But I hope they always keep it so you can always take it out and put either AA or Play and Charge kit in it. Good controller. Let's see what else I have to say here. Sometimes when you hold the start button here, the Xbox button accidentally snapped. Sometimes that happens, and you can see how it snaps that other app there too. Sometimes when I go to hold this down, like this shows up, but my cursor, my selector, still on the back screen Again, I can't really explain it, but if you've had an Xbox, you've probably experienced this and will know what I'm talking about. And then you have to just hit the back button, hit the start, and then just try it again, and then eventually. Didn't happen this time, good thing, but sometimes it happens. I'm just putting it out there. Uh, this is probably one of my biggest picks is the game DVR. I don't like it. It has potential. Now you saw how long it took to snap the app. Well, let me just actually go into upload. Upload game DVR. Basically, they have the same problems. This takes a little bit a while to cache everything in, but that's my internet. That in this situation isn't a lag. But say I go to my clips, sometimes I'll have trouble if I want to just play all of them. You go to that play all, or watch all. If I watch ones from like months ago, sometimes they just lag really bad for some reason. Like if I go back to some of my very first ones, I don't know why it does that, but it does. I'm trying to think. Biggest issue is I want to see longer record times. I don't think 5 minutes is very good. I know this isn't a capture card. If you really want good quality and you really want, the ease of use, then you need to get a capture card. But I think 15 minutes is fair. I'm not sure where I got 15 minutes from. It was before the consoles were out. I don't know if this was a rumor that it was going to be 15 minutes, or maybe the PlayStation 4 was going to do 15 minutes, or maybe it does. I don't know. But regardless, I think the Xbox should do 15 minutes capture up to. I think that's fair. Even if the requirement is you have to have an external hard drive in, that's fine by me because I have one, and it's just an option. If you don't care, then you don't need to have an external, and you won't do 15-minute clips. The way it is now, you got to do 5-minute clips and then mend them all together. And sometimes if you say 5 minutes, you only get 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 3 minutes and 40 seconds. But most of the time, you do get about 4 minutes and 58. But I would just like a 15-minute setting. I'd like to see an improved quality because sometimes they come out and they're not very good. I would just like, again, I think it has something to do with your internet or maybe if you're doing multitasking things. But sometimes the picture is too grainy. I'd like to see a better quality and a setting to say if you want like standard definition, HD, 720, 1080, something like that. And then Upload Studio, again, probably my last big nitpick would be just, it can be a little bit messy. So let's just get something started here. It's pretty efficient. It works pretty well. I don't use those other ones. I always just trim or mend together and trim. Let's just take a clip here. Let me find one that's not too long. Okay. Okay, here's one that's 30 seconds. So it'll basically download pretty quick. You can do voiceover, you can do some things like that, but I don't like how you're given the option to scrub through it and trim it. I just think it will be a little bit more efficient. I don't expect this to be Adobe Photoshop or Premiere or Sony Vegas or anything like that, but it could be improved. I want to see an Upload and Upload Studio and the game DVR improved with those settings that I just mentioned. And now that this is say, now you have the option to trim it. I like the frame by frame, but sometimes it has to load. I guess that's again according to my internet, but you can't make multiple clips here. Say I want to hit trim. Well, that's the only part I can take. Now, what if I wanted the first 2 seconds, then a break, then I wanted the next, this area, and then a break, and then I wanted the last. You can't do that. You have to take this specific piece, and then you can trim that down again, but you can't make multiple pieces. I guess maybe you could finish it or something, and then reopen the clip again in a separate one and mend it together, but that's just too messy again. I like to see it a little bit more professional. And the last complaint about this is when you go to name it, you see you have a pretty good space up there. You might not be able to see that, but you're only given about 20 characters, if that. Actually, I don't think you can see that on my screen, but that little white spot up there is filled. It doesn't even go the whole way until it fills up. That's going to get old pretty quick. I think you need to have more. YouTube has a 150 character limit to their titles. I don't expect that much out of this, but there are more uploads getting out there. I would like to see longer titles. Again, the controller is good. I'm about to close it up. I know it went long, but hey, my last year's review of it was both the aesthetics and the internals was about this long, and a lot of people watched it and a lot of people liked it. So I don't care. This is just how my review is gonna go. This will probably be the only one I'll do this year. I'm still gonna do my updates and stuff on it, but this is the update for the review overview for the year. PS4. I want to say the PS4 is a really good option. I wish I had one. Do I regret getting this? No, I got the $399 model. I don't feel cheated. It's improving, but I think the PS4 is a really good console. It's so thin, so small, so compact, is more powerful. You're not going to see some totally different experience on there, but I have more confidence in the PS4 because it's able to run games a little better. It's not that they're going to look much better, especially because I'm only using a 720p TV, so I can care less either way. All I care about is that the game doesn't look terrible and the game runs smoothly. So I don't want to see crap resolution. That's why I have more confidence in the PS4 moving onward, because it isn't totally maxed out like the Xbox. They either need to tweak it or add something to it. I don't know how they could do that, but it's not bad. But PS4 is a very good option as well. They're both good consoles. I would like to see a slim Xbox. I'm sure it's coming. I mean, this Xbox is huge. Again, this isn't about what it looks like, but I would expect a slim Xbox. Hopefully, it doesn't go any higher than 400. I don't see how they could ever sell it for more than that. So let's hope we get a slim Xbox. And I would like to see the same design, just a lot smaller. Kind of like that two-tone. And it's basically that same design, just smaller. I think this is going to be a quick console generation. They said it at the beginning, 10 years. I mean, they're kind of already outdated as it is, with PCs as good as they are now. I don't think this will be anywhere near 10 years. I'm predicting probably 5, believe it or not. I mean, last gen consoles are still fun, but I think people are satisfied. I was so happy playing Black Ops 2, which pushed the thing to its limits, but that's a good game. But we could have kept going, but I think everyone did want the improvement. And in this situation, I'm sure if we had to deal with it, we could. But let's be honest, a lot of games that came out so far are already big disappointments. Either poor development or just didn't look good or didn't, give us what we wanted. I can't picture this console going more than 5 years. So from the end of, 2013, we're talking 2018. I think that by then there's going to be either more competition or more digital stuff. PlayStation's moving to PlayStation now, slowly testing it out. Current state of gaming, again, a lot of disappointments. Still pretty young in this console cycle, so I think we will see better games, and there are good games. But the only last thing I want to close with is just, we heard about Windows 10, and I guess they use DirectX 12 now. I'm not sure if that's fully implemented or not. I'm not that big into every little thing that's going on in the tech and gaming world, but I remember saying, DirectX 12 is going to make the Xbox so much better. All I care about is if you can make this home screen work better, if you can make it look better, if you can make it run smoother and have an avatar or something on it, if you can make it so the game DVR and the snap feature doesn't lag. That's all I want. Just make it a nice, quick, like on your Android tablet, like open that up. You don't have that screen. It's just a real quick 1 or 2 seconds and you're in. If 1 or 2 seconds. That's all I want. That's all the improvement I want to see. I don't care if you had Windows 10 or DirectX 12. Just make things work faster. The games are pretty good. I don't have a problem with the games. Just make the actual operating system run smoother, and that's really all I want. So that's basically it. It went pretty long, but I'm sure some people appreciate this. I know people like my Xbox content. I will be doing the monthly Games of Gold. I'm still going to do that. If there's any significant preview updates and I get them, I'll make videos on those. My Xbox One collection is getting pretty big, so I'm going to be doing videos on that. I'll probably make a collection video. I have tons of old consoles, and at some point I'm going to do collection videos on them and more content on them. But I've been really occupied with using the Xbox One right now. It is a good console. I do like it. So I'm just going to close it out now before we hit 30 minutes here. Hope you enjoyed it. I might have forgot some things. I might want to add some things. If I do, I'll put them in the comments. Talk about whatever you want in the comments. What features you want. Did you like what I brought up? Did you experience what I have? Or the problems I have? Or what's your pros and cons? Leave them down. Let me know. Hope you enjoyed this. Put a lot of time into it, so I hope you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.